Hand sanitizer didn't become part of our daily routines overnight. Long before the world became hyper-conscious about germs, we were already touching countless surfaces every day: door handles, elevator buttons, keyboards, even our phones, which harbor more bacteria than most toilet seats. The introduction of portable alcohol-based sanitizers offered a convenient way to reduce exposure to microbes when soap and water weren't nearby. People started carrying them in bags, pockets, or at the entrance of their homes, and it became a ritual. Touch something, sanitize. But despite this familiarity, many people remain uneasy about what's actually in the bottle. Reading the labels, you'll see words that sound technical: ethanol, isopropanol, sometimes hydrogen peroxide, or glycerin. That alone can trigger a sense of wariness. It's understandable. We're culturally conditioned to fear the unknown or anything that sounds like a chemical formula. Yet the truth is, these ingredients are straightforward and safe when used as intended. Alcohol is simply a molecule that kills germs on contact. Hydrogen peroxide, when included in trace amounts, helps deactivate certain spores that alcohol alone can't handle. Glycerin softens the skin to prevent drying. Nothing mysterious, nothing scary, just chemistry designed to make the product effective and safe. Understanding why these ingredients are there helps transform hand sanitizer from a mysterious chemical cocktail into a simple, practical tool for daily hygiene. Once we look past the intimidating words on the label, the chemistry behind hand sanitizer is surprisingly simple and elegant. Alcohols like ethanol or isopropanol are small molecules that can penetrate the outer layers of bacteria and viruses. Viruses in particular have a delicate outer coating made of lipids, essentially fatty molecules. Alcohol molecules can insert themselves into this layer, breaking it apart, and in the process, the virus loses its protective armor and becomes harmless. For bacteria, the alcohol can denature proteins, essentially unfolding them so the cell can function. You can picture it like poking holes in a balloon. Once the protective layer is compromised, the germ pops. This process happens incredibly fast, usually in less than 30 seconds of rubbing sanitizer across your hands. That's one of the reasons alcohol-based sanitizers are so convenient. They work almost instantly and you don't need water. But the chemistry is also sensitive. Alcohol concentration matters. A solution with less than 60% alcohol may not disrupt germs effectively, while one above 90% can evaporate too quickly to interact with microbes. There's a sweet spot around 60 to 80% that maximizes both contact time and germ-killing effectiveness. This is why labels often specify alcohol content and why trusting that number is more important than worrying about the presence of chemicals. Understanding this simple interaction between alcohol molecules and germs removes the mystery and explains why sanitizer works so reliably. Despite how widely used hand sanitizer is, misconceptions about it are common, and they often stem from misunderstanding both chemistry and human physiology. One prevalent myth is that using sanitizer weakens your immune system. The truth is that sanitizers act only on the surface of your skin. They do not enter your bloodstream or interfere with your body's internal defenses. Another myth is that natural or chemical-free products are safer or more effective. In reality, natural products are only effective if they meet the same alcohol standards. Otherwise, they may smell pleasant but provide little protection. There's also the fear that sanitizer's alcohol is toxic simply because we've been taught that alcohol can be harmful if ingested While it's true that swallowing large amounts of ethanol or isopropanol is dangerous, the tiny amounts absorbed through skin contact are negligible and pose no risk. These myths often generate unnecessary fear. Understanding the actual chemistry and the way sanitizer works allows people to use it confidently without anxiety about harming themselves. It's all about context. Using it correctly is safe, and the molecules in the bottle are designed to perform a specific beneficial task rather than anything nefarious. Knowing how sanitizer works is helpful, but people also want to know how to use it effectively. First, it's important to recognize that soap and water are still the gold standard. Hand washing physically removes germs and dirt, and the mechanical action of scrubbing is very effective. But when water isn't available, sanitizer fills the gap. Using a generous dime-sized amount and rubbing it across all surfaces of your hands until they are dry ensures proper coverage. Moisturizers like glycerin in the formula prevent excessive dryness, which can be a concern with frequent use. It's also wise to check alcohol content. Anything below 60% is unlikely to be fully effective. While sanitizer is safe for daily use, overusing it or relying on it as the sole method of hand hygiene isn't necessary. Reading labels, understanding the function of each ingredient, and using sanitizer as intended allows you to stay clean and protected without fear. These small, simple habits transform sanitizer from a mysterious chemical product into a practical, reliable tool for everyday life. One of the most misunderstood aspects of hand sanitizer is the alcohol percentage listed on the label. People often see numbers like 60%, 70%, or 80% and wonder if higher is always better. The truth is that alcohol concentration is a balance between effectiveness and usability. Alcohol is the key ingredient that kills germs, but it doesn't work in isolation. When the concentration is too low, say below 60%, the alcohol molecules are not plentiful enough to disrupt the outer layer of bacteria and viruses effectively. Germs survive, and the sanitizer's purpose is compromised. Conversely, if the concentration is very high, above 90%, the alcohol evaporates too quickly. It can't spend enough time on the skin to fully penetrate and break down germs. This is why commercial formulations generally stick between 60% and 80%. In this range, the sanitizer remains in contact with the microbes long enough to do its work before drying out, and it's also gentle enough for frequent hand use. Understanding this helps dispel the fear that any sanitizer could be too strong for your hands or dangerous to use. It's not about being harsh or aggressive. It's about giving the chemistry just the right balance to be effective. When people know why the number matters, they can choose products confidently, rather than being swayed by marketing claims or anecdotal fears about strong chemicals. A common complaint about hand sanitizer is that it dries out your skin. Alcohol naturally removes oils, which is part of why it's effective against germs, but without anything to counteract that effect, frequent use could leave hands rough or cracked. That's where ingredients like glycerin or aloe come in. They're not added to make the product more luxurious or fragrant. They're there for science. Glycerin is a humectant, which means it draws water into the skin and keeps it hydrated even as alcohol evaporates. Aloe has soothing properties, reducing irritation. Together, they prevent the dryness that might otherwise discourage people from using sanitizer regularly. In a way, this combination is an example of chemistry working alongside biology. Alcohol does the germ killing, glycerin protects your cells, and your hands stay functional and comfortable. This balance is important because if people stop using sanitizer due to dryness, they could expose themselves to more germs. Recognizing that commercial formulations address both hygiene and skin health helps people trust the product and use it consistently. It also reframes sanitizer from being a harsh chemical to being a thoughtfully designed tool for everyday life. Marketing for hand sanitizer often emphasizes natural or chemical-free formulations, which can be misleading. The idea that synthetic ingredients are inherently dangerous while natural ingredients are safe is a common misconception. In reality, the effectiveness of sanitizer depends on its alcohol content and formulation, not whether it's natural. A product made with natural essential oils but with only 40% alcohol may smell appealing, but it won't reliably kill germs. Meanwhile, a standard ethanol-based sanitizer with 70% alcohol is safe, effective, and backed by scientific evidence. This misunderstanding is part of a broader societal fear of chemicals, but it's important to separate marketing language from actual science. Natural ingredients can be soothing or fragrant, but they do not replace the germ-killing power of alcohol. Understanding this allows people to make informed choices rather than assuming that natural equals safe or synthetic equals harmful. The reality is that chemistry is neutral. It's about how molecules interact, not whether they come from plants or a lab. By focusing on science rather than branding, people can use hand sanitizer confidently and effectively. Beyond killing bacteria and viruses on contact, hand sanitizers serve a subtle but important role in public health. By reducing the number of pathogens we carry on our hands, we decrease the chance of transmitting infections to others. Think about grocery stores, schools, or offices. Every time someone uses sanitizer, they interrupt the chain of transmission. This has a cumulative effect that is hard to see in the moment, but significant over time. It's why public health agencies recommend sanitizer in addition to washing hands. Using sanitizer regularly is not about paranoia, it's about simple preventive care. Understanding that this small personal action contributes to broader community health can make the habit feel more meaningful. It's not just a personal hygiene tool, it's a small act of science-based kindness that protects not only you, but also those around you. Appreciating this perspective can shift how people view sanitizer from a mere product to a practical, socially responsible tool. One of the fascinating things about alcohol-based sanitizers is how quickly they dry. This can seem mysterious. Why does your hand feel dry within seconds, yet the sanitizer has already killed the germs? The answer lies in alcohol's physical properties. Alcohol molecules are volatile, which means they have a low boiling point and evaporate quickly at room temperature. When you rub sanitizer on your hands, the alcohol spreads across the skin, penetrates the outer layers of microbes, and then evaporates. This rapid evaporation is actually part of the design. It ensures the product works efficiently without leaving a sticky residue. The science is elegant in its simplicity. Even though the alcohol disappears quickly, its molecular action has already done the work of disrupting the germs. Sharing this fact with audiences can help demystify the product and reinforce trust. People often fear what they don't understand, but knowing that evaporation is a clever design feature rather than a flaw makes sanitizer feel safe, logical, and almost elegant in its engineering. It might surprise people to learn that hand sanitizer isn't a modern invention. Alcohol-based hand disinfectants have been around for over a century, though the formulas and popularity have evolved. Early formulations were mostly used in hospitals and medical settings, where hygiene was critical, but washing hands repeatedly wasn't always practical. Over time, formulas improved, adding moisturizers, stabilizers, and better alcohol concentrations. making them suitable for consumer use. The rise of portable pump bottle sanitizers made hygiene accessible outside clinical settings. Understanding this history helps people appreciate that sanitizer isn't a sudden, experimental chemical product, it's the result of decades of refinement and testing. The modern sanitizer you carry in your pocket has been designed to balance safety, comfort, and germ-killing power. Knowing its evolution and widespread use in healthcare reinforces confidence and reassures users that it's not some untested, risky concoction, it's a well-studied, scientifically validated tool that has stood the test of time. Hand sanitizer is most effective when used thoughtfully as part of a daily hygiene routine, rather than as a replacement for soap and water. Imagine your morning routine. You grab a cup of coffee, touch your phone, open the door, maybe swipe a credit card at the store. Every surface you encounter has invisible bacteria or viruses, some of which could make you or others sick. Using sanitizer at these moments is a quick, practical way to reduce exposure. The beauty of it is the speed and convenience. A few seconds of rubbing a gel or foam across your hands can dramatically lower the microbial load without needing a sink, soap, or towel. At the same time, pairing sanitizer with traditional hand washing ensures that you remove dirt, oils, and larger particles that alcohol alone can't handle. In this way, sanitizer becomes part of a layered defense strategy, quick, portable protection that complements more thorough cleaning. Understanding how to integrate sanitizer effectively makes it feel less like a mysterious chemical product and more like a practical, science-backed tool for everyday life. The effectiveness of hand sanitizer isn't just about the ingredients, it's also about how you use it. You might think that a quick swipe across your palms is enough, but germs can hide in hard-to-reach areas between fingers, under nails, around cuticles, and on the backs of hands. The key is friction. Rubbing the sanitizer over every surface allows the alcohol molecules to contact and disrupt germs thoroughly. Studies show that spending 20-30 seconds massaging sanitizer over your hands ensures maximum coverage. This is similar to the way we scrub with soap and water. Mechanical action amplifies chemical action. Many people underestimate this step and assume a tiny drop is sufficient. The truth is, the chemistry works best when combined with movement. Rubbing thoroughly also helps the alcohol evaporate at the right rate, ensuring it has time to disrupt the germs before drying. By teaching audiences this simple technique, we make sanitizer use more effective and intuitive, reinforcing confidence in a product that is already scientifically validated. One of the most persistent myths about hand sanitizer is that the alcohol it contains is absorbed through the skin in harmful amounts. Some people worry that using sanitizer daily could poison the body or affect organs over time. The reality is reassuring. While alcohol can be toxic if ingested, the tiny amounts absorbed through intact skin are negligible and pose no health risk. The human skin acts as an effective barrier, preventing most substances from entering the bloodstream. Only in cases of excessive exposure or broken skin would there be any concern, and even then, studies show the amounts are far below harmful levels. Understanding this distinction helps people overcome fear and use sanitizer confidently. It's a great example of how our instinctive caution can be tempered by science. Hand sanitizer is safe when used properly, and knowing the facts turns worry into empowerment, letting people take control of their own hygiene without unnecessary fear. One of the clever aspects of hand sanitizer is how quickly it evaporates. This can be confusing at first. People often wonder, if it disappears so fast, how can it possibly kill germs? The answer lies in alcohol's volatility. Ethanol and isopropanol have low boiling points, so they evaporate rapidly at room temperature. This evaporation isn't a flaw, it's part of the design. When you rub sanitizer on your hands, the alcohol spreads across the skin, penetrates germs' protective layers, and then evaporates, leaving your hands dry. The key is that the chemical interaction with the microbes happens almost instantly, within 20-30 seconds, so the rapid disappearance doesn't reduce effectiveness. This feature also makes sanitizer practical. It dries quickly, doesn't leave a sticky residue, and can be used repeatedly without cumbersome cleanup. Understanding the science behind evaporation reassures people that sanitizer isn't mysterious or unsafe. It's simply a clever way to deliver fast, effective protection. Beyond individual hygiene, hand sanitizer has a measurable impact on public health. When used widely in schools, workplaces, hospitals, and public spaces, sanitizer reduces the transmission of bacteria and viruses, protecting not just individuals but entire communities. Each time someone uses sanitizer after touching a shared surface, they interrupt the chain of infection, preventing germs from spreading to others. This effect is especially important in settings where washing hands frequently isn't practical. It's easy to underestimate how much difference a small action can make, but widespread sanitizer use has been shown to reduce absenteeism in schools and decrease infection rates in hospitals. Recognizing the broader impact of this simple product can transform the way people view it, from a personal hygiene tool to a socially responsible science-backed practice. Understanding that using sanitizer contributes to public health reinforces confidence and motivates consistent, proper use, making small daily actions meaningful on a larger scale.